it's better if you get it from online though, because at least you know it's up to date.
Yeah.
Just tell you what, give me 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
You can take the laptop. I'll come over. It makes it a bit easier. Be careful with this. This one's gonna have it. No, it won't because there's a 2 seconds buffer. I'll give you
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والنجم إذا هوى ما ضل صاحبكم وما غوى وما ينطق عن الهوى إن هو إلا وحي يوحى. علمه شديد القوى ذو مرة فاستوى وهو بالأفق الأعلى. ثم دنا فتدلى فكان قاب قوسين أو أدنى. فأوحى إلى عبده ما أوحى. ما كذب الفؤاد ما رأى. أفتمارونه على ما يرى ولقد رآه نزلة أخرى عند سدرة المنتهى. عندها جنة المأوى إذ يغشى السدرة ما يغشى. ما زاغ البصر وما طغى. لقد رأى من آيات ربه الكبرى. أفرأيتم اللات والعزى ومناة الثالثة الأخرى. ألكم الذكر وله الأنثى تلك إذا قسمة ضيزى. إن هي إلا أسماء سميتموها أنتم وآباؤكم ما أنزل الله بها من سلطان إن يتبعون إلا الظن وما تهوى الأنفس ولقد جاءهم من ربهم الهدى. أم للإنسان ما تمنى فلله الآخرة والأولى. وكم من ملك في السماوات لا تغني شفاعتهم شيئا إلا من بعد أن يأذن الله لمن يشاء ويرضى. إن الذين لا يؤمنون بالآخرة ليسمون الملائكة تسمية الأنثى وما لهم به من علم إن يتبعون إلا الظن وإن الظن لا يغني من الحق شيئا فأعرض عمن تولى عن ذكرنا ولم يرد إلا الحياة الدنيا ذلك مبلغهم من العلم إن ربك هو أعلم بمن ضل عن سبيله وهو أعلم بمن اهتدى ولله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض ولله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض ليجزي الذين أساءوا بما عملوا ويجزي الذين أحسنوا بالحسنى الذين يجتنبون كبائر الإثم والفواحش إلا اللمم إن ربك واسع المغفرة هو أعلم بكم إذ أنشأكم من الأرض وإذ أنتم أجنة في بطون أمهاتكم فلا تزكوا أنفسكم هو أعلم بمن اتقى أفرأيت الذي تولى وأعطى قليلا وأكدى أعنده علم الغيب فهو يرى أم لم ينبأ بما في صحف موسى وإبراهيم الذي وفى ألا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى وأن ليس للإنسان إلا ما سعى وأن سعيه سوف يرى ثم يجزاه الجزاء الأوفى وأن إلى ربك المنتهى وأنه هو أضحك وأبكى وأنه هو أمات وأحيا وأنه خلق الزوجين الذكر والأنثى من نطفة إذا تمنى وأن عليه النشأة الأخرى وأنه هو أغنى وأقنى وأنه هو رب الشعرى وأنه أهلك عادا الأولى وثمود فما أبقى وقوم نوح من قبل إنهم كانوا هم أظلم وأطغى والمؤتفكة أهوى فغشاها ما غشا فبأي آلاء ربك تتمارى هذا نذير من النذر الأولى أزفت الآزفة ليس لها من دون الله كاشفة أفمن هذا الحديث تعجبون وتضحكون ولا تبكون وأنتم سامدون آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم. أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد.
Please recite another salawat. Assalamu alaikum everyone, and welcome to this two-night program with Dr. Sayyid Jaafar Fadlallah. Just going to go over a few brief announcements for the event. The schedule today will be the lecture from the Sayyid, followed by Matam. We'll have some refreshments, and then the Sayyid has kindly offered to do a Q&A session for half an hour after the event. In terms of, I'd just like to update you with fundraising for this event. We've managed to reach 42% of our target, so thank you everybody for your donations and support for this event. We've raised £845 so far. We had a target of £2,000, so we still have some distance to go, and we'd greatly value your support. On a separate note, in terms of volunteers, we're always looking for volunteers to help run these events. We're short on volunteers to help with car parking specifically and to help in the mother and child room. So if you can come forward and volunteer to help this project, then please speak to one of the volunteers or myself. If you've previously indicated a desire to be a volunteer and not received our emails, then please also let us know. I'd also like you to make you aware of our new policy with regards to the parent and child room. So if you're bringing your children to the event and you'd like to use the parent and child room, which is located on the far corner on the right, please make sure you read the policy on the outside of the room. It's pinned up. So please just make a note of that policy. I'd like to just remind you just tomorrow, please, if you could arrive promptly. We plan to start at 7:30 for 7:45. So thank you for attending today, and please try and arrive promptly tomorrow. I'd just like to have a brief announcement from Brother Ali Jafri, who works for IUS Aid. He's going to do a brief presentation about his recent experiences in Iraq. Please recite the salawat.
Thank you, Brother Jawad. So, as you might know, and as you might have family returning from Arba'in, I'm back. I'm slightly ill, but that's the fazila you get when you go to Ziyarat Arba'in, as you most of you have seen and quite sure. I see Musa here. He's complaining of exhaustion as well. But one of the most beautiful things that we got to do while we were on the trip was our orphans work. And today I'm not really appealing for money. I'm simply saying a thank you to the donors from this community, because if it wasn't for your donations, we as a whole, Mancom, 10th Day, IUS Aid as a whole, we would not have been able to provide the support to the orphans. So we visited Al-Anwar Al-Najafiyya, which is the office of Ayatollah Bashir Najafi. And this is at least for me, it's the second year in which they've been so kind to host and to they brought about 50 orphans with their mothers at a very, very busy time in Arba'in. And the individuals, like I can see mashallah, the Hassan family, as you can see here in the pictures as well, had the opportunity to meet with the orphans, to speak with them, and and as you can hear with them, it's a completely different experience when you do that. As part of, we collected 50 gift bags which contained whiteboards, color pencils, gifts, warm clothing that we gifted, as well as an envelope, a hadiah for each orphan. This is in Karbala, which I didn't have opportunity, but because I left earlier. But again, alhamdulillah, through Al Town charity, which is based in Karbala.
It's actually linked to Sayyid Fadlallah's office.
Okay, mashallah. So maybe Sayyid can.
Association.
Yes. So if Sayyid probably might know of it as well. We had the fazila, the honor of meeting the orphans for a second time as well through this charity. And again, it was a very memorable experience for both the volunteers and the management. And as Sayyid is here, on behalf of Iraqi Aid Association and Al Town Charity, the Manchester Community and Youth Project, through the work that Sayyid Musa has been doing over 3 or 4 years, or probably even more, to every time going to Iraq, taking these, it was recognized by the charity, and we were. Sayyid was given the accolade from this. So this is an achievement by the Manchester community, and this should be something that certainly should be celebrated. Could I have a salawat, please? So just to say thank you to the community once again, and inshallah we can benefit from Sayyid's presence today. Jazakallah.
Okay, I'm just going to give you a brief introduction to Dr. Sayyid Jaafar Fadlallah. He is the son of Grand Ayatollah Sayyid Muhammad Hussain Fadlallah. He's currently undertaking a visiting research fellowship at the El Mahdi Institute in Birmingham. He has a master's and PhD in sociology, and he has been a lecturer of jurisprudence at the Islamic Sharia Institute in Lebanon since 1999. He is also a general religious supervisor to a benevolent charitable organization. So today's topic, as you will see on the projector, is how can we fulfill justice in our life? So please could you welcome him with a loud salawat. This is just to advance the slides. Could I just ask all the brothers just to move as forward as possible, just to fill the space?
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين وأصحابه المنتجبين وعلى جميع الأنبياء والمرسلين. How can we fulfill justice in our life? I'll try to speak about this traditional topic, but I think we have to think together. I'm not here as a speaker. I'm here as a man who wants to learn about this topic and many other topics. How can we fulfill justice in our life? Let me first narrate this short story. It's an imaginary story, but I think it's related to our real life. A faithful man, well educated, and he is one or son of a very respected family. He is also, he always go to mosque. He may be the first one who enters and the last one who goes out. He pray on time. He recite Quran. He pays khums and zakat. This man has got married to a very special woman. She is faithful as well. She recites Quran, prays on time, go to Hajj, ziyarah. 1 year later, or more than that, this family was a talk or the talks of many other families. They are preparing their papers for divorce. Because of what? This man was shouting during that year. This man was shouting on this woman. They were shouting on each other. The woman maybe has been beaten by this man, this husband. Also, they are still loving each other. If you ask any of them, they will answer by that. So why does such thing happen? I think this is a big question. Isn't enough to have faith? Isn't enough to have faith? Or we have to think about another thing. I think this is the main problem here. Having justice requires many conditions. We have to learn about what impacts this behavior of this man and this woman. Justice, maybe someone has a very strong will to do something, and many things outside of his choice will impact his life. So we can see that this man will not do what he was willing to do. Somebody may be very honest not to do something to the other in this marital life, and many circumstances come opposite to his will. So he may miss many of that, and he makes or commit mistakes after mistakes. Then he is not fulfilling what he was intending to do. Also, faith, if we are talking about faith is also affected by many circumstances. Faith is only a base that we rely on and must build a very complicated, maybe, building. You cannot live in only a base. If you have a base, you have to build walls and roofs, and you have to paint and get furnitures. So you have to make that building suitable for your life. This is the whole input that we have to put to have that output, which is the subject that we are talking about. We are talking about fulfilling justice in our life. So you cannot only have faith to have justice in life. You cannot, as long as you consider faith is the whole issue, maybe many mistakes will come to your life, and you may miss many of the rights of the other. So the main question here is how to fulfill justice in our life. Let us first define justice. Justice simply is to give someone his or her rights. This is very simple, and we always assume that we are making that, or we are doing that, or we will do that. But really, this definition means many things. First, to know what is the right of the other. Maybe we enter the marital life and one of them at least, or one of us or both of us don't know really what is the rights of the others. Because we don't learn that when we enter that life. Before that, we make the Aqd al-Qiran. We don't know what's the rights of each other. Second, to know it is a right. We maybe know many things as rights, but we don't believe that it is really a right for the other. And this will take place in many families. Third, to have the will to give it to the others. Maybe we know the right and we believe that it is a right, but we don't have the will to give it. Fourth, to know how to give it. And this is a big question or big issue. We know the right and we believe in it is a right, and we have a strong will to give it to other, but really we don't know how to fulfill it. And also, fifth, to have suitable conditions, not opposing ones. And this is a very important thing or step that we usually don't step on. We usually concentrate on his or her will. And we say that, love your wife. We say to the husband, and we say to the wife, love your husband. And we say, respect, be best friends, stand up as a man or stand up as a woman also. We cannot say stand up as a man and sit down as a woman. No, we have all to stand up. So we concentrate on a unique thing from these 5 things or steps. We are concentrating on this will. So what we are doing here actually is to put all things, all the rights, all the future of this marital life, we are putting this on the back of the husband and the back of the woman. And we are relying on his morality. We are relying on his attitude or her attitude and morality. So he who will fulfill the justice. But maybe we have no confirmation that he knows the rights or he knows how to fulfill it, and the circumstances around them, the surroundings around them, both of them, the husband and the wife, is suitable for that. We may have many obstacles that will oppose our wills. So we cannot fulfill what we are intending to do. We can see this simply in our lives. We intend to have many things or to achieve many goals, and we see at the end that we have done nothing because many obstacles stood in front of us. Let's have an example here. It is an example of what a certain institution, modern institution, do with the new employee that he come to this institution. Maybe this employee has a good personality and also a high responsibility, and he is well educated, but they do not, the institution, the administration does not feel comfortable unless they have a checklist of many things. This employee must have a well-known information about the place that he has to work in, the relationships around him with other employees. He knows who is responsible for, or who he is responsible to, who should answer, etc. So this employee, this institution will not feel comfortable, and they will achieve goals from this certain employee depending on only this general attributes of their employees. So I think here we have to take this into consideration when we are talking about this family institution. We are talking in a very critical institution in our lives. Shall we have here, so maybe this employee have many attributes that he can gain success or he can achieve the goals, but many circumstances, environment around him will stand as an obstacle or obstacles that make this success changed or transformed into failure. So this is in our life. So he has to know the laws, the traditions, relationships, requirements, environment, etc. So here, I think the main problem is that we do not deal with justice as a system. We deal with justice as only a value. And we have to give others, to give the man or husband or woman, to give them the husband or wife, we only give them the general recommendations, advices. Love your life or love your husband and be friends and try to pass over the obstacles. Don't let the other interfere in your life. This is main general advices, but maybe they do not know how to fulfill it in their life. So even if we are talking here about system or systemized justice, maybe we cannot fulfill justice in our lives, not because we don't know the meaning of the justice, but we don't know how to fulfill it in our life. Justice is not based on a personal morality or on a good attitudes in general. Justice is based on a chain of establishments Justice is based on a chain of establishments which direct the actions of those members who works and are moving inside that institution or that foundations. The system that we make its establishments, this system will play a role of balance. Many of us, when we are living in our families, we have weaknesses. Those weaknesses may be affected by certain circumstances. So I'm a good man, but in my life, at a certain time, in a certain place, because I'm stressed in work, I come to my home, then I will not give my wife her rights, not because I'm not a good man, and I don't know what are her rights, but because the circumstances around me in that certain time and place pushed me to deviate out of the line. So when we are dealing here, when we are talking about justice as a system in our family or marital lives, then we have to make sure that those establishments are taking place and are well arranged. So here we are talking about a system. Let's go to the Quran to see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informed us or learned us about these establishments. First we have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. And of His signs is that He created for you from yourselves mates, that you may find tranquility in them, and He placed between them affection and mercy. This is, I call it a divine formula of successful marriage. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stated that in a unique verse, in a very few words. So we have here four things. We have, first, we must feel that we are equal in humanity. So none of them, either the wife or the husband, will feel proud or will see that the other partner has a lower level in humanity. We all are humans. And also, second, tranquility. Third, affection. When we talk about affection, we don't talk only about love. We talk about harmony and love and sensitivity. This is how can we define or see the concept of affection. When we talk about mercy, not to feel sympathetic with this person, the other person. When we talk about mercy, we are talking here about many aspects. We are talking about the weaknesses, to know what the other partner, what weaknesses he has, to feel in sympathy with those weaknesses, and to feel that we must give aid of that person, that partner, to go out of this, to change his or her weaknesses to a benefits or to a strong points in his life. This is how can we see when you have affection or between each other, men's, women and wives and husbands, then you will give without any expectation to reply. This is when you love someone, then you will give. You will not ask the other, what will you give me? in reply. So this is how can we make our marital life as a kind of shelter that we can go in when we feel afraid of what is happening or what's going on in our life. The second verse is وَلَهُنَّ مثل الذي عليهن بالمعروف وَلِلرِّجَالِ عَلَيْهِنَّ دَرَجَةٌ. And they have rights similar to those against them in a just manner. And the men are a degree above them. Only a degree, not a degree. And the men are a degree above them. And Allah is mighty wise. This is a very important verse that we recite it in Quran, but we pass away. We don't stand on this to see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made here equal rights between men and women. وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. They have rights similar to those against them. This is the second, maybe we will concern it as a second, a second stone in this system. We have third verse, وَأَمْرُهُمْ شُورَى بَيْنَهُمْ, and whose affair is determined by consultation among themselves. Do we do this? We do consultations in our lives, in our marital lives. Every decision that can be taken in a spirit of consultation between each other, or maybe we consider here in the West it's somehow not critical as in the East, but I think we have in our on ourselves, maybe we will still have this attitude. We have also ادفع بالتي هي أحسن فإذا الذي بينك وبينه عداوة كأنه ولي حميم. And not equal are the good deed and the bad. Repel evil by that deed in which is better. Repel evil by that deed which is better, and etc. You know this verse. This is to have a positive reaction, not to make the evil reactions take place in your life. Then when I have a positive reaction, then I will be patient. I will be patient. And maybe this will need many training, This will need many training, because you cannot, if somebody is shouting on you, then the very spontaneous reaction is to shout on him also. So this needs many wisdom, needs wisdom, needs training. So to be positive, this is one of the advices of the Quran. We have also وَلَا تَمُدَّنَّ عَيْنَيْكَ إِلَى مَا مَتَّعْنَا بِهِ أَزْوَاجًا مِّنْهُمْ زَهْرَةَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا لِنَفْتِنَهُمْ فِيهِ وَرِزْقُ رَبِّكَ خَيْرٌ وَأَبْقَى. Do not extend your eyes toward that by which we have provided different classes of them. Do not extend or stretch your eye, because stretching or extending eyes to what the others have, this will make a very problem for us, because we will not feel enjoyment in what we have, what we really have. And also we cannot have the enjoyment from the others, what the others have. because we don't have this thing and that thing in possessive. So this is also a verse that we have to think about it. فهل عسيتم إن توليتم أن تفسدوا في الأرض وتقطعوا أرحامكم. This is concentrating on the kin relation, the kinship or the blood relationship. We have to be tight to those relations. This will make a very good climate of our family, because we are a part of the big families. We are parts of the society, the whole society, and this will give us aid when a problem or problems take place in our lives. وإن خفتم شقاق بينهما فابعثوا حكما من أهله وحكما من أهلها. So this is I will reach the end. We have also to consider piety, التقوى. We have to consider piety in our life. What is the relationship between taqwa or piety and what we are talking about? We are talking about justice. What's the relation between piety and justice? We will see. Also, when we recite Quran or we make dua or make salat, also when we make meditation or go in a picnic, this is related also to has a relationship. All of these have relationships with justice. We can consider at the end justice as a safety net. When we have all these verses, we will see that justice must be a system that we rely on, and this will make balance to our life. When we want or when things push us to deviate out of the line, then these circumstances, our families, the kinship, blood relationships, piety, knowing rights, consultation between each other, mercy, affection, all of these play a role as a safety net of justice. If we want to fulfill justice, we cannot say that we only have faith and this is only what is useful, or maybe it is enough to have justice in our life. We ask when one came to us and wants to get married to our daughter or vice versa also. We ask about his faith. Does he pray? Does he pay zakat or khums? How is he? We don't ask very specific or particular questions about how can he deal. How does he deal with the different or variable circumstances that pushes him to be angry or to be out of the line or to maybe beat the other partner. We don't examine also these. All of these verses that have been mentioned can be considered as a safety net that provides both the husband and wife with an inner peace, polite tongue, tendency toward good reaction, and to change the bad situation into a better one, enjoying the beauty they have instead of extending their eyes to things that are given to others, determining their affairs by consultation, living in a growing field of love that promotes one to give without expecting anything in return, sensible to others' suffering and weaknesses, by the sense of mercy, have both of them an extended family relationship which give each of them love and stability. And if any problem happens to arise, they try to resolve it as fast as they can. And if a dissension between them takes place, they resort to the wise persons of both families to have it mediated. And if they have gotten divorced, they do not forget graciousness between them to solve the coming problems of childhood and others. So they can manage the common issues in an appropriate way. And above all, they know the duties and the rights of each other. All of these lines of the net and many others, if they are fulfilled well, create sufficient environment for both of them to live in a just life, and will be the main factors that help both of husbands and wives not to deviate out of the line. All that we have tried to say here is in providing us with these verses in the Quran and creating this safety net, Islam has done just, and it has created a system by which justice may be fulfilled if it is well constructed by us. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد. Brothers, can you stand up, get ready for Latum Jazakum Allah Khair al-Jaza. صرخة عبر السنين يا رسول العالمين، صرخة عبر السنين يا رسول العالمين، صرخة عبر السنين يا رسول العالمين، صرخة عبر السنين يا رسول You can help me with the يا رسول العالمين. صرخة عبر السنين يا ما شاء الله. Louder brothers, louder. صرخة عبر السنين يا رسول العالم. One more time. صرخة عبر يا واهب الإنسان مصباح الهدى، يا واهب الإنسان مصباح الهدى، قبسا ينير طريقهم طول المدى، في صلب آدم نورك زاهي بدا، ولذا له الأملاك خرت سجدا، ولذا له الأملاك خرت سجدا. مذ رأت عينا اليقين يا رسول صرخة عبر السنين، صرخة shrouded in darkness is the world as the night's mourn. Shrouded in darkness is the world as the night's mourn. And when a dawn rises, it comes a blood-red dawn. Shrouded in darkness is the world as the night's mourn. Ahsant. Shrouded in darkness is the world as the night's moan. And when a dawn rises, it comes a blood-red dawn. Much like these nights when for Hussein the hearts are torn, the night dresses in tears and screams that it adorns. As the future unfolds and tragedy is born, Haydar buries Ahmad with the morals he'd worn. Haydar buries Ahmad with the morals he'd worn. مذ رأت عين اليقين يا رسول صرخة عبر السنين يا من على أوج المعالي قد علا، يا من على أوج المعالي قد علا، للناس رب الناس فضلك أجزلا. من قبل إيجاد الخليقة مبتلى، فيهم ألست بربكم قالوا بلى، فيهم ألست بربكم قالوا بلى، وأقروا طائعين يا رسول صرخة عبر السنين Oh Haydar, I watch you as you bury his crown. Ahsant. Oh Haydar, I watch you as you bury his crown, and with shaking hands you place Ahmad in the ground. I hear Fatima screaming, a heart-breaking sound. I dress these skies in darkness with her screams, my gown, and banish her for her cries this oppressive town. A devil's whisper in each heart, Haydar we found. وأقروا طائعين يا رسول العالمين، صرخة عبر قد كنت خير الخلق فيهم مطلقا، يا جوهر الإيمان يا علم التقى. كل فانا لكن وجهك قد بقى، إذ في جبينك نور ربك أشرقا، إذ في جبينك نور ربك أشرقا. وبدا فوق الجبين يا رسول العالم. صرخة عبر السنين. ما شاء الله brothers, louder. As your patience eats you away, there is reward. As your patience eats you away, there is reward. You will ascend to whom your heart and soul adored. But she will cry upon your gaze, that is assured. But she will cry upon your gaze, that is assured. For you'll come with a head struck by a poison sword. You'll be dyed with your blood, O lion of your load, and every cry of your orphans will be ignored, and every cry of your orphans will be. إنه الحق المبين يا رسول. ما شاء الله. صرخة صرخة. أنت الذي في قلبي جبريل نازل، أنت الذي في قلبي جبريل نازل. وإذا نزلت بآيات خشع الجبل، حار الدليل بعشقه وعليك دل. طه وبعدك حيدار خير العمل، وبعدك حيدار خير العمل. ذا أمير المؤمنين يا رسول العالم. صرخة عبر السنين. Alone you bury the master of creation. Poet Nouri Sardar. Alone you bury the master of creation, and ask where are his lovers and all of his men. Haidar, again to your household this will happen. Haidar, again to your household this will happen. When left alone with no lovers is your Hassan. His murder written with poison ink and death's pen. His murder written with poison ink and death's pen. And he will cry out for Fatima there and then. And he will cry out for Fatima there and then. The Amirul Mu'mineen Ya Rasul. صرخة عبر السنين You bury Muhammad with your tears as his shroud. You bury Muhammad with your tears as his shroud, but Hussein's shroud upon him will not be allowed. You bury Muhammad with your tears as his shroud, but Hussein's shroud upon him will not be allowed. As the swords prostrate upon his body and bowed toward his daughters, with Hussein's blood they stand proud. As the rage of the fire deafens cries so loud, as the rage of fire deafens cries so loud, and taunts his sister Zainab, a merciless crowd, and taunts his sister Zainab, a merciless crowd. إنه الحق المبين يا رسول الله. صرخة عبر السنين. صرخة عبر السنين. صرخة. Oh my Father, where are you? How can I live without you? You all know the words. I want you to help me, brothers. Let us remember Hussein's Ruqayyah in this night. Oh my Father, where are you? How can I live without you? Oh my Father, where are you? How can I live without you? Oh my Father. MashaAllah, brothers, louder this side. How can I? Oh my Father, where are you? How can I? Your face came to me in my dream, and I wished it wouldn't go. Your face came to me in my dream, and I wished it wouldn't go. Why does the morning have to come? Why couldn't my nights be slow? Why couldn't my nights be slow? When I woke up, you were not here. So then I shouted, oh no. I want you here with me, Father. I want you here with me, Father. Where are you? I want to know. Where are you? I want. All I do is drop my tear and keep wishing you were here. All I do is drop my tear and keep wishing you. Oh my Father, how can, MashaAllah, MashaAllah, brothers. Oh Auntie Zainab, could you please bring to me my dear father? Written by Ali Jabir al-Kadhimai. Oh Auntie Zainab, could you please bring to me my dear father? With my tears I kept asking her, and my voice has got much louder. Oh, people, have mercy on me. Oh, people, have... I am Hussein's young daughter, and how can you people forget that my grandfather is Haidar? That's my grandfather. And on top of what I've said, my great-grandfather's Ahmad. And on top of what I've said, my great-grand... Oh my father, oh my father. Oh my father, oh my... They came in and they brought with them what I thought was food for me. They came in and they brought with them what I thought was food for me. I don't want food, I answered them. My father is the only key. My father is the only key. I am Ruqayya, the daughter. I am Ruqayya. MashaAllah, one more time. I am Ruqayya of Hussein, the son of Ali, and covered what they had brought me, and covered what they had brought me, and my father's head I see, and my father's head I see. I closed my eyes with my pain. Oh my dear father Hussein, I closed my eyes with my pain. Oh my dear father, oh my father. Oh my father, oh. They came in and they brought with them what I thought was food for me. What I thought was food for me. I don't want food, I answered them. My father is the only key. My father is the only key. I am Ruqayya, the daughter. I am Ruqayya of Hussein, the son of Ali, and covered what they had brought me, and covered what they had brought me, and my father's head I see, and my father's head I see. I closed my eyes with my pain. Oh my dear father Hussein, I closed my eyes with my pain. Oh my dear father, oh my father, my father. Oh my father, oh my father. عظم الله أجوركم جميعا لقضاء الحوائج ولشفاء المرضى ولتعجيل في فرج مولانا صاحب العصر والزمان. نقرأ الآية المباركة: أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء. أمن أمن يجيب دعاء الفرج. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا ودليلا حتى برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. ولجميع الموتى وأموات المؤمنين والمؤمنات نهدي للجميع ثواب سورة المباركة الفاتحة تسبقها الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.
We'll just have refreshments served now, and after 5 minutes we'll have a Q&A session with the Sayyid. So please stay. Please, can you recite salawat, please? Could I have everybody's attention, please? We're going to start the Q&A session now, so please, if you'd like to stay, please have a seat. You can sit here, that's fine. We'll do both, so if you give them out. So, Brother Haider and one of the sisters will be coming around with some paper and pens. So if you'd like to write down your questions, please take a paper and a pen that are coming round. So whilst the paper and pen is going around, does anybody have a question they'd like to say on the mic? Please, out of respect, could the people please who would like to stay, could they stay? And if you want to talk, then please, could you do so closer to the exit? So if, does anybody have a question they'd like to start with from the audience? Okay. Do you have the mic? There's another one.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalam.
Very nice lecture, Sayyid Waqan. And you make your point. So you said the system, justice is a system. But justice we know is a blind. We need some tool, we call it wisdom. Like if you go to the court and you see a statue of woman, blind woman. So the justice is not enough. So we need, if you want to say something truth for other person, advice, you need to choose the right time, right word, right condition to say. So that's the main problem. People don't know how to express their advice and their feeling. So that need a tool, and to run the family, so you need a wise person. That one. I have a question. On top of that, I have a question. We carry, nowadays there is what you call puppy. They celebrate a martyrdom of their soldier. Yes, in World War I, I think. What we do in this situation?
In what?
عندهم علامة مثل هذه يشيلوها رمز للجرحى والشهداء الحروب أتصور الحرب العالمية الأولى فدائما يحتفلون بها يعني they celebrate this, they collect, they give you a badge, and this is with the money going to the family of them. These soldiers, they come to invade our land and they destroy our land. So how do we react with them? Are we to express our feeling or sympathize or what we do? And it's very nice, thing to do, to remember the family and the soldier themselves. Just carry this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, no problem.
No, we can.
Okay. First, thank you for your question, or two questions actually. Let me first say, you said that justice needs wisdom. This is an element of that safety net that I called safety net. I think we cannot fulfill justice if we don't have wisdom. But let me go further to say that justice is not only in judgment or in a court. justice is somehow, you can say, it's a kind of harmony between two persons, or between the wife and husband. This is a kind of justice here, to have this harmony. You know how the engine of a car, how it works. Something is going up and the other is going down. This is a kind of wisdom. Your blood pressure, when it maybe sugar, and we are talking about here diabetes. When the sugar flows into blood, then some things is is going to make it down. So we have this balance in our lives. I think justice, we have to deal with justice not as a thing that we have to reach it, as a ruling, I think we have to deal with justice as a will, and to know, and to feel, and to take. Yes, it will. We will live justice. Living justice is not a matter of a goal. You have to reach it. For the second question, I think the families of the soldiers are another issue. That maybe we will have a different stance with those soldiers in the World War First or Second. But I think the families have another situation, and they will have another ruling with respect to our, fiqh or jurisprudence. So I think maybe we can deal with that without any complication here. So we are members of this society. If there is values that contradicts our values, then we have to express. We don't agree with this and that. In this thing in particular, we may feel sympathy with their families, but we don't agree with what caused that world war, and we have also families who are suffering. So I think we have to express, not only to make ourselves engaged in everything that is given to us.
And maybe this culture is similar to us. They've been brainwashed or something.
Maybe.
Be cheated. So maybe like anything like us. And I think to be sympathize with that, because the time we are not here just question, but we need to do something else, like raise awareness of war. That parallel with it.
Yes, if there is a value that is confirmed here, then we can deal with this value. This is the main issue due to our religion and due to our faith.
Just thank you for the question. Just a reminder, the questions and answers are open. It does not have to be strictly to the topic of justice. So if there's anything that you particularly want to ask, that's okay. I just have two questions on the same topic. Before we go back to the audience, I know that there's a couple of you that want to ask questions. So the question is, when the Quran has said, man has a degree more right than a woman, what does this mean? And somebody says this could be misinterpreted by men. So please, could you elaborate?
It's a step, The step is what the man is inside the marital life is responsible of. He is responsible of spending money to the family, and he has the right of divorce, and this is the step. This is the step of qiwama, which means the administration. The administrator of the, who has the right of administration is the husband. But this doesn't mean that who has this right is actually the administrator. maybe the administration is affected by the woman more than man. This is something that there is, some kind of organizing this marital life. Then the man is he doesn't get pregnant, and he has nothing in his body that will make an obstacles to move and to go. So he has this, this right from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is responsible of this administration of life. But this must be, we have another verses. There is a very, very important issue here in understanding Quran. We cannot take a certain verse of Quran and then we build our theory upon it. We have to to study all the verses related to the same subject. If we study the whole verses that are related to the certain subject, then we can deduce from all of them. We can deduce the theory of Islam, which is related or refers to the relationship between the husband and the woman. When we say وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ, we cannot take only وَلِلرِّجَالِ عَلَيْهِنَّ دَرَجَةً to make it a building of 14 of maybe 100 floors. It's a step. It's not a building of 100 floors here. So it is only a step. We can also, we have to refer to another verses that will say وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. He makes affection and mercy in your life, in your marital life. We have to see what is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala considering men and women with respect to the responsibility of faith. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says وَالْمُؤْمِنُونَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتُ بَعْضُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ. When we are dealing out of the marital life, we are mu'min and mu'mina, we are believers, men and women, are loyal to each other. They are enjoining good and they are forbidding evil. This is يَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ. This is the responsibility of the public life, the political life. So we cannot make that step stretched to a level that it will be neglecting women in the whole life or even in marital life. And we can say that at the end, we can say that who has the administration, who has the affection, or who has the impact, let me say, who has the impact is in this life, this marital life in the family, who has actually the impact. He is the administrator, and maybe the man, and maybe the woman. We say that they must cooperate with each other, and everything must be in consultation.
Okay, so I'll just pass the question to Musa.
Assalamu alaikum, Sayyid.
Alaykum salam.
Thank you very much for your deep lecture and the theory and the system that you've given. I very much appreciate it. I enjoyed listening to it. My question is very much completely off the topic, however. I wanted to hear from you, or perhaps hear your reflections on the current political and kind of developing situation that is ongoing in your country, in Lebanon, with your Prime Minister leaving his office and the influence of the Saudis in that particular scenario. What do you think is at play? What is going on in the background? If you could kindly share your reflections, I'd appreciate that.
Thank you. Lebanon is in the whole time and the whole history. He is engaged. Lebanon is a country that engaged totally in the, the problems of the region. So anything that happens in Lebanon, you have to search for the causes that are surrounding this conflict or this problem inside Lebanon. When there's a conflict in the region, between Saudi Arabia and now they are bombing Yemen, So they need something from Lebanon. They are making the situation very critical and very complicated situation in order to have a pressure on a certain forces in Lebanon to give aid or help to go out of this mess of Yemen especially. And they are hoping that they will gain something in Syria, and all things around or inside all things about the conflicts of the region, they are now settling down, and they are coming to the end. So this is we will face more and more pressure in Lebanon, but it's still now political pressure, not military pressure. They cannot make Lebanon is not Yemen, and Lebanon is not any other country. Very complicated situation, and that now when they make that pressure to make the prime minister resign, they wanted to make something unusual in Lebanon, to have maybe a certain Sunni Shia conflict, something, because the prime minister is from Sunni sects, and the other forces who want something or many things from them, without naming or labeling. Those forces are, Shia. So I think this will remain. The Europeans do not want this situation in Lebanon to be unstable. They have the benefit of stability of Lebanon because, building Syria will start later, earlier or later. Then this building period of Syria needs a stable country beside that has a very long coast on the Mediterranean Sea, and this will be more useful for them. So I think what we have in our surrounding politically and related to the region and to some states of, especially in Europe, even in United States, they make pressure only with what statements that Trump may say, or other officials. I think that things will stay in this critical, not stable situation, but no going further to a military invasion or bombing Lebanon. Maybe we will see some bombs inside this region or that in Lebanon, but it's still controlled by many players.
Okay, so I'll just alternate between paper questions and audience questions. So there's a question here. When we commit a sin, is it Allah? Is it Allah and us? Or is it just us?
Nothing happened in this world without the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not interfere to make us committing a sin. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put rules, bases, laws, and we are related to these laws. Those laws that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala established to control the life, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala relates between the causes and the causes and the results. So we have the ability to do and not to do. This freedom that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us, this freedom, it's from Allah's will. It's nothing that we have by ourselves. We have this freedom. We create that freedom. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us that freedom. and this will cause, that sons of children of Adam will commit many sins. But this all is related to Allah, as He is the creator of laws that controls our lives. So Allah creates the law, put the law of this life, and we are working inside this law. This is what Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, Imam Jaafar Sadiq alayhi salam said. It's something in between that Allah, He is the doer and we are the doers. No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the doer, but from the laws aspect, and we are the doer, the real doers in this life. So this is can make sense, I think, to answer this question.
Is there any questions from the sisters that they would like to ask on the mic? Any further questions from the audience, from the brothers?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
I'd like to thank the Sayyid for attending and gracing us with his presence.
Thank you very much.
The question really stems from the previous question, is that we see the rise of feminism and other movements within the West and also the Middle East and other regions, calling for equal rights, calling for, equality and things like that, with many other things. Does this mean that certain jurisdictional issues within Islam, for example, inheritance, as well as the role of a woman within the household, and other issues, does that mean they become questionable on previous things? For example, like leaders, are women allowed to become leaders of Salat Jama'ah? Are they allowed to, these issues? What's your take on it in terms of moving forward, and whether they stand?
It's a big question. It needs a lecture. We have ijtihad in Islam, and we still have a diversity of opinions about the woman's right and the duties and inside the house or outside the house. We can see now there is many of fatwa of maraja that say that women cannot be a judge, a woman cannot be a judge, cannot be marji' taqleed. But we have also on the other side we have opinions that say a woman can be a marji' and woman can be a judgment. A woman can be a judge. Woman inside the house. You say your question was mentioning that the rights or duties inside the house. This is the duties inside the house is the duties of the husband, not the woman. He has to clean the house. He has to wash the dishes. He has to cook. He has to prepare all of these. This is his duty. So woman inside the house, they are giving this by their yes, good intention or their morality or this love for men. But in juristic aspect or research, this is the duty. These are the duties of man, of husband. So he must be appreciate. He must appreciate that. But if we have ijtihad about inheritance, maybe we still have a certain problem, because we are examining the rulings of Islam according to another philosophy, according to another vision. We have the Western vision that is making all things are equal in without any considering to the maybe considering the maybe the spending system of Islam. You know, this is related to that duties when there's duties on man to pay for many things that it's not a duty. So maybe the woman will have its share, and man will spend all the share which is equals to two of shares of woman. You know, this is related to a certain philosophy of the duties that must be taking place in spending money by men and by women. So we cannot make this just or evaluate this according to another philosophy. In according to the Islamic philosophy, we will see this very reasonable and very just, you know, if we can say like this. But we have ijtihad, we will see many opinions in that, and we will still in progress. Ijtihad is the very useful and very, you know, progressive thing that we have in our religion. We cannot stop at a certain time. We say that this is all what we can study or what we can conclude. No, we may. If there is questions, then there is more and more researches. If there are questions. We have many opinions here. Inshallah.
Thank you. I just had a question in relation to this, which is that why not accept that there might have been some prophets which were female? Because many communities in the world, ancient times, their social structures were not patriarchal, they were matriarchal. So where women were dominant and women were, assumed the role of leadership, particularly in the Amazons and other areas. And if we're going to say that prophets were sent to every community, why not accept that there could have been prophets who were female?
Because, you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we don't know. We have in Quran mentioned only 25 prophets. So we don't know about the 125,000 of prophets that has been sent to the humanity. But let me say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if we want to be practical, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants His risala to be going on, not to be a matter of arguing. You cannot send a messenger that he has to argue maybe to the rest of his life, for the rest of his life, arguing that he has the right to be messenger or not. This is a kind, we have until maybe 50 years, since 50 years, until that, if we go further to the history, all the history is the history of man. So to be practical, to develop maybe to have the humanity on the, on the road of development, to change their minds about women, this will take more time. So risala maybe cannot wait. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent a messenger who is a man to have this risala, and in his risala he changes all the attitude of men towards women. When he talked about wife of Pharaoh, he spoke about Maryam. He spoke about that there is a role model of some women to those who are believers. No, he didn't say that the believers of women. It's Imra'atu Maryam. or Imra'atu Fir'aun, the wife of Fir'aun. He said it's a role model, she is a role model of the whole believers, men and women. So he is changing that. When he narrated or narrates for us the story of Queen of Saba, he presented to us a very wisdom woman that has a wisdom more than all the men that are sitting around her. And when he says the Quran when says she finally entered the Islam, said وَأَسْلَمْتُ مَعَ Sulaiman, with Sulaiman, not behind Sulaiman. So this is changing. This is what's changing. I think we have this attitude towards women now because of this kind of directing the mentality of men at that time, who was burying daughters because of shame or something like that.
Do we have any questions from the sisters?
No questions from sisters.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaykum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Thank you very much for your talk. It was very useful. I've got a couple of questions. One relating to the question that Muhammad asked. In terms of responsibilities within the household, if we say that the woman does not hold responsibility within the house, and we know that that's true, what responsibilities are there for her? Because sometimes that can be abused, where the woman says, I don't need to provide for the house, I don't need to work, and I don't need to work in the house, and I don't need to provide for the children. So the man ends up having the whole responsibility. Not trying to be anti-woman here, but trying to see what is the responsibility of a wife or a mother in the what does Allah expect from us? The second question that I had originally was there's been recent kind of issues on the media now relating to the rights of women within marriage who do marital Islamic marriage in this country, because sometimes they do the Islamic marriage but then they don't do the legal marriage. And that has resulted in them losing all their rights because of that. So how can we ensure in this community that those who do not do the legal marriage get their rights if their husbands do not offer their rights? Because sometimes husbands can be quite abusive in not providing for their wives. And Islamically, then they're not entitled in this country for anything. Thank you very much.
Thank you. First of all, maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let that responsibility inside the house, because the woman has an inner tendency toward taking these responsibilities. It's similar to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Quran. He says وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانَ بِوَالِدَيْهِ. He didn't say وَصَّيْنَا وَالِدَيْنِ because this will be very normal. It doesn't need any advice or any directing. So I think when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't mention the responsibility of woman inside the house, and because this will take place normally, without maybe, but I think we have a certain we recited or stepped on a certain verse in Quran when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُم مَّوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. This is the affection and mercy. This is the formula, the divine formula of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the successful and suitable and comfortable life. We cannot say here what are your rights and what are your duties and what are mine of all of that. This is a matter of conflict. When we reach that, we can say what is our right and your rights, what are our rights or your rights, etc. in the the normal life, we give without expectation of anything in return. We will give. This is what love pushes us to do. And when we have mercy, we will take care of all that who needs who need us. Either the husband who will still a baby even if he is in 30 or 40 or etc. He will still a baby for the woman because she has the sense of motherhood. So I think this this must be based on affection and mercy, not on duties and rights. When we talk rights and duties, we are not talking about family. We are not talking about a very comfortable relationship inside the house. This maybe in a company, in an institution, not in a family. Mercy, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states affection and mercy. This is what we have to base on. About the Islamic marriage, I think we have to make it similar to the this one. So when we what you say, تسجيل, register, yes, when we register it in the here in the institutions, I think we will not have this problem, because when we make our Islamic marriage without any conditions, without any rights, mentioning the rights and the duties, etc., then and we are not mentioning what's happening when divorce will take place. The children, where do they live, where what the wife will have, what the husband. We don't mention all of that. But this is not Islamic. I say this is not Islamic. The Islamic marriage must base on all of these. This must be obvious, must be clear. So when we make our Islamic marriage based on all things that are mentioned in the state's marriage, then we don't have this problem. We will register it without any problem. The problem is when we want to be free of any duties or public. Okay, that's it.
Okay. So a question here is, do you think there's such a thing as not being a relationship or marriage kind of person? Do you think it's better for some people not to get married?
No, if you don't get married, then you will not examine the other. You will lose this examination of humanity within the other, because we are engaged in ourselves. So maybe the man, when he lives with the other, he will see humanity in another from another side, in another expressions. This will be useful for our humanity, a benefit for our humanity. The problem that we usually assume that living alone, and no one will live alone, believe me. But living alone will be a very useful thing. When you are strong, then you will go to the fire and you will not get burnt. This is the strength. Not to avoid it and to be safe in a safe side, and you say, I'm strong, I am strong man, I didn't get burned by that fire. When you examine your humanity with the other, and you will have this kind of human training or humanistic training, you will examine this spiritual humanity with the other when we deal with each other as different, or when we have diversity in personalities, in attitudes, in morality, and the way that we deal with some issues, then we will have another aspect, sides, points of views, maybe another life.
I'm doing taqleed of a living marja. Can I change to a marja who has passed away?
Changing to taqleed to the marja who has passed away, this is based on that we must have a fatwa from a living marja that he will give us a permission to make taqleed for a passed away marja. So we cannot go directly to the dead marja to have taqleed of him. We have to base on a certain fatwa that says you have a permission. It is permitted that to make taqleed to even a marja who is dead, then you can make taqleed in a certain conditions that mentioned in his fatwa. When we rely on this is not the majority opinion. The majority opinion is that you cannot make taqleed for any dead marja. There is minority, some of fatawa, maybe some of them in Qom, maybe some of them in Najaf. Sheikh Ishaq al-Fayyad has this fatwa. If you believe that this marja who is dead is the a'lam among all the fuqaha, the alive fuqaha and the dead fuqaha, then you can have the permission to make taqleed of them. So, in brief, we say that if you want to make taqleed for a dead marja', then you have to rely on a fatwa of a live marja'.
Any questions from the audience? Haider, this sister at the back.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for your talk today. I have a simple question. Is shisha or smoking halal or haram? And if it's halal, then is it appropriate for us to get that image, or like an image as a Muslim?
Smoking, we have two fatwas about smoking. Smoking that we all agree that smoking is harmful for our health. There is here two opinions. One of them says that harmful things are prohibited, are forbidden, haram, and the another opinion say that harmful things are not haram except in a certain case that reaches a level, this harmful thing will reach our health a level that it is critical. There is a very big damage in our health. This is the two opinions. Sayyid Fadlallah was saying that smoking cigarettes, shisha, cigars, anything of those is haram because it is harmful, and man and woman are not allowed to make harm for themselves.
I realize it's 10 o'clock now.
Yes.
How do you feel about?
I don't mind
going on.
No, for me, no problem.
Okay, we'll just try and.
What was the second about image of Muslim? Yes, you. This is. I think this is the answer. When we have to be reasonable, and we see that there's many, movements around us that are going to trying to make it not allowed thing, so we have to be attached to these movements. And also I have a very important point that I have to shed light on it. When we say it is permitted to smoke, you are not permitted to smoke when people around you are annoyed by smoking. You are not allowed. We usually in the East we have this problem. When he or she doesn't ask any of the surrounding sitting that can I smoke. You cannot smoke even if they said no problem, and you know that they are saying no problem, not real no problem. This is something of yes. You cannot. المأخوذ حياء كالمأخوذ غصبا, you said. So I think we have to be serious in this issue. It's good for our generations, because when we go further and forward in some steps, our generations, later generations, will go further more. So we have to stop that now in order to have our children not to go further.
I have a written question here. So, my father is a martyr,
Okay.
and before his death, he was employed. Afterwards, the government changed in Iraq. They gave us all the monthly wages for all the previous years. Is this money inheritance, and what is the division of the money?
Okay.
Is that,
Yes. No, I think that money, it is not an inheritance, because you know the inheritance is based on that the dead man or woman has a property, has this, he owned this money, and then it will be divided after when he passes away. So he passes away, and he has he left behind him some money, this money is owned by him. Here this money is not owned. This is something that the state of Iraq gives the pension, but it's not inheritance. So dividing it's related to what dividing is as they giving. They are giving to the whole family, or to a certain member of the family. Then we have to know if they are giving this money to a certain member, then he owns this. If they are giving this to the whole, then we have to divide it equally, maybe.
Okay. Is aqid future dowry? Does that have khums?
No, the future.
This is the Arabic.
Okay, Arab. No, the future dowry, we don't have khums on this, and also no khums in the money that inherited by from the dead man or woman.
So there's no khums on on inheritance.
No khums in inheritance, and no khums in the future dowry.
And this is a brief question.
Brief question. Can we go Sharm el-Sheikh?
Can we
go to Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt?
As a holiday?
As a holiday. It depends. We go there for what? This is what will make it halal or haram. So what is haram, we cannot do haram either here or there. What is halal, we can do it in Sharm el-Sheikh. Going to the beaches and going to maybe some places that they are drinking in wine and etc. This is not the places of halal wine. No, there is no halal wine. These places are not suitable for our faith. This we can get enjoyed in many other places. Enjoyment is here, not in what we see. But when we see that all life is here, then we cannot enjoy with anything. This is لا تمدن عينيك. Don't extend your eyes towards things that the others have.
Any audience questions? Yeah.
If there is an inheritance, there's no humus on inheritance. Does that include if the inheritance a year passes? So a year passes on the inheritance?
Yes.
So for example, if I inherit £10,000 and 5 years later down the line there's no humus on that 10,
No, no.
the 5,000 or
No.
anything like that.
But you work with that. If you work with them, and you make the money develop, then you have to make khums for the addition. And but the amount of the inheritance, even if 1,000 years.
Sayyidina, does that include? Sorry, Musa. Does that include even if the inheritor, like the person,
Heritee.
Yes.
the heritee, didn't pay khumus?
Yeah, that was my
If you
question.
know exactly that this money must, khums be paid for it, then you have to make it as a dain. It's a loan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then you have to pay it before you make division of the estate.
Just a final question, then we'll stop here. Just the last question. So we see some women, when it comes to choosing between Islamic laws and legal British laws, they choose the British laws as it suits them best, e.g. in the case of divorce and its financial benefits. What are the Islamic views on this?
If we, Islam has a certain regime and has conditions and rules that are established for the Islamic. We say Islamic. It's a marriage, but it is Islamic because it is depending on the rules of Islam. This is why we call it Islamic marriage. We cannot refer or go to the any other rulings which contradicts the ruling of Islam. This is وَمَنْ لَمْ يَحْكُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْكَافِرُونَ. We cannot go to any court that we will, if they make they make a judgment to have some money for the woman and it contradicts the ruling of Islam, then this mal is not halal. This is mal still the property of the man, because it's not based on what Islam rules here. So we have to make, I understand this problem, but I think we have to discuss that clearly and seriously, and to reach to to make the gap not in that distance between the Islamic marriage and the British marriage. We have to put a very long paper that must be read by the husband and the woman, the man and the woman, before they are getting married. Then the marriage will be based on these rights and duties which are mentioned in this paper, and this must be fulfilled by others. Then when we go and register this marriage in those conditions, even in the British court, they will judge upon it. And when we return to the Islamic judge, then he will rule or judge upon it. So I think we have to discuss this. Usually we don't discuss, because we let the problem goes further, then it's will be a bigger problem, and women will see that they will have too much justice in the British law, not in the Islamic law, because we are not fulfilling the Islamic law. Actually, we will have in Islamic law زوجتك أنت قبلت. Do you marry him? And this is إجاب وقبول, only this. No conditions, no obligations, no duties, no rights are signed in this paper. Why? Islam said المؤمنون عند شروطهم. Everything must be written, and then the marriage will be based on these conditions and obligations that will be established in this marriage. I think we have to change this. Then we will not push ourselves or our daughters or our women into the this kind of critical choosing between Islam and non-Islam or not Islam. The after last question.
We can leave it there. I
No
think 'cause it's
problem.
getting late.
I-
So
I-
maybe we can, maybe the person can, maybe the person that brought the last question can speak personally, perhaps.
Inshallah.
So we'll end here now, and just because it's getting a bit late. And are you happy just to stay around for a few minutes if people have any